Hello everyone, I hope you all are well and having a great day so far. Today we are baking something so good, it honestly might just ruin all other breakfasts for you. We are making cinnamon rolls, but not just any cinnamon rolls. These are the softest, fluffiest, most addicting rolls you will ever try. I've made all kinds of rolls before, pumpkin, cacao and chocolate, blueberry and lemon, but I always come back to the classic, and according to my family, these are the best I've ever made. They are billowy soft thanks to a magical little trick I'll show you. It's called the Tanzan Method. They are topped with rich creamy frosting, and the cherry on top, we are drizzling them with homemade caramel sauce. I mean, come on! So before we get started on this video, please be sure to subscribe to my channel down below, hit that thumbs up, and with all of that said, let's get into it. Now, the secret to the softest cinnamon rolls ever is the Tanzan Method. Sounds fancy, but basically it is really just a simple roux made with flour and milk. So I'm going to take a portion of my milk and add that to a saucepan along with some flour. Make sure you are using 1:5 ratio, 1 part flour to 5 parts milk. Now whisk that together and put it over medium-low heat and stir constantly until it thickens. It takes about 2 to 5 minutes. But this little step gives us a high hydration dough that bakes up soft, fluffy, and tender. And because of all the moisture, the rolls stay fresher longer. It should look like a smooth, creamy base, almost mashed potato-like. This is perfect. So now all I'm going to do is just allow it to cool down slightly before we move on. Okay, now this is perfect. I'm using my stand mixer for this today. So to the bowl of my stand mixer, I'm going to add my roux base, the rest of the milk, my water, eggs, and a splash of vanilla extract. Whisk all that together. It already smells cozy in here. And now I'm going to add my flour, yeast. I have the dough hook attachment on. And now I'm going to mix it on low speed to avoid that flour explosion. At this point, once all the flour is mixed in, I'm going to pause it and I'm going to cover it up and let it sit for 5 minutes. This little short rest allows the flour to fully hydrate and jumpstart gluten formation. Many professional bakers use this method, delaying adding the sugar and salt to give the yeast a head start and make the dough easier to handle. After 5 minutes, I'm going to add the sugar and salt, and I'm only using a half a teaspoon. And now we're going to let it mix on medium-low speed for about 15 to 20 minutes. It usually takes about 18 minutes until the dough becomes smooth and elastic. I will make sure to write all the ingredients with the exact measurements in the description box below. Now, a pro tip, whenever your stand mixer is getting a serious workout like this, place a damp cloth on top of the motor housing. I also have some ice in here, but this really helps to cool down the motor and prevent your machine from overheating. And also make sure you are scraping down the sides and bottom of the bowl every now and then. Alright, after 18 minutes, my dough is looking pretty good. So now it is time to add the butter. I'm going to add it one piece at a time and make sure each piece fully incorporate before adding the next. Alright, after you add the last piece of butter, make sure you keep kneading for 1 to 2 minutes until the dough pulls away from the sides and it feels soft but not too sticky. So this is actually perfect. My dough right now, it is tacky, but not too sticky at all. Now I'm going to transfer it to a lightly oiled or buttered bowl, and we're going to cover it up and let it sit at room temperature for about an hour, and then we're going to transfer it to the fridge and let it slow rise overnight. This is called cold fermentation. This gives the dough time to develop deeper flavor and better texture, and honestly it is also kind of convenient because you can do this step the night before a holiday, birthday, or even weekend brunch and wake up the next morning to bake it fresh. Half the work is already done, and let's be honest, who can resist a warm, freshly homemade cinnamon roll in the morning? While the dough is rising, let's make the rich spiced filling that really takes these cinnamon rolls to the next level. And here's what I'm using: some unsalted butter, brown sugar, cinnamon, and a little bit of salt. Now that's already a classic combo, but if you are feeling a little creative, if you want to add a little bit of depth and complexity to your rolls, here's what you do. If the recipe calls for 1 cup of brown sugar, add half a cup of brown sugar and half a cup of crushed, really good quality cinnamon cookies or ginger snaps. They really bring a warm caramelized spice and a hint of a crunch that contrasts beautifully with the gooey filling. It is the kind of detail that really gives your buns a bakery level flavor and a little surprise in each bite. And all you have to do really is just mix all the ingredients together in a bowl until you have a nice soft spreadable base. Alright, now this is perfect. I'm going to set this aside now until the dough is ready. We'll spread this all over and roll things up. Now listen, we already nailed the filling and gave it that special touch, but we're not stopping there. We are going full baker style here. So let's make homemade caramel sauce that is honestly a lot easier than it looks. And we basically need only 4 ingredients. So you need some sugar, butter, and heavy whipping cream. Make sure you use good quality ingredients and have those at room temperature. And we also need some salt and vanilla extract for flavoring. Grab a medium saucepan and set it over medium-low heat. We are doing what's called the dry caramel method, so no water here, just sugar. Go ahead and add the sugar and stir it constantly with a wooden spoon as it starts to melt. Keep an eye on it, and whatever you do, don't walk away. Sugar has zero chill. It can go from golden and gorgeous to burnt and bitter real fast. So stay close and keep it moving. Once the sugar is fully melted and it turns this rich color, carefully whisk in the butter a few pieces at a time. Yes, it's going to bubble like crazy, but that's the fun part, don't be scared. Just keep whisking until the butter is completely melted and you've got a smooth, glossy caramel base. Now slowly pour in the cream, whisking constantly. It will bubble again, but just keep whisking. Once all the butter and the cream are in, let the caramel boil for about 1 to 2 minutes so it can thicken up. And if you're using a candy thermometer, you are aiming for a temperature between 220 to 225 Fahrenheit. Once it is there, just remove it from the heat and add your salt and vanilla extract and just mix that all together. Now you can transfer your caramel sauce to a mason jar and it will continue to thicken as it cools down. Alright, this dough has been resting in the fridge overnight and look at this rise. It's puffed up beautifully. And here's the best part, you don't need to bring it to room temperature. You can take it out of the fridge and jump right into rolling. It is ready to go. But first, let's work on our pan. So here I have a 13 by 9 inch cast iron pan. You can use whatever you have. Ceramic, glass, metal, anything will work. Just line it up with parchment paper and I'm going to brush it down with a little bit of butter. This gives you a nice golden crust and makes sure nothing sticks. Now punch down the dough to gently deflate it and we're going to transfer it to a lightly floured surface and roll it out into like 22 by 15 inch rectangle. I usually just eyeball it, you don't need to be precise here. Once you've got your rectangle, you're going to spread that filling all over, edge to edge, but just leave about 1/4 of an inch border around the sides. That little border helps it seal properly when we roll it. Now roll it up tight like a cinnamon burrito. Start from the long edge and work your way across. When you're done, just make sure the seam is facing down. That keeps it sealed during baking. Now we can trim off the ends. They usually don't have much filling. You can discard those or bake them separately as little bonus bites. Then just give the dough log a gentle tuck and press. Sometimes it stretches out unevenly when rolling, and this just brings everything back into shape. We're going for about 15 equal rolls. Before I cut, I like to mark each roll first, just to help get even slices. So I'm using a dough scraper for that, but the back of a knife works just fine. Now for slicing, you can use a sharp knife or unflavored dental floss. Just slip the floss underneath the log at each mark, and you're just going to cross the ends over the top and pull quickly and firmly. It will cut it cleanly without smashing the dough. And as you slice, just place each bun cut side down into your prepared pan. Give them a little space because they will expand as they rise again. Once all your rolls are in, cover the pan loosely with plastic wrap and let them sit in a warm spot for their second rise. We're going to let them sit for about 20 to 25 minutes or until they've doubled in volume. And while they're doing their thing, you can go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit. It has been about 25 minutes and my oven is now hot and ready. So I'm going to cover these up with aluminum foil and we're going to bake them covered for 15 minutes, and then we're going to remove the aluminum foil and continue baking them for another 15 minutes until they are nice and golden brown. While those cinnamon rolls are baking away and making the whole house smell like a dream, let's talk frosting. This is a classic rich cream cheese frosting, just the way I like it. And for it you need some cream cheese, butter, powdered sugar, a dash of salt and vanilla extract, heavy whipping cream, and again I'm using the stand mixture for this. You can absolutely do it by hand, but let's be real, it's just faster and easier. And go in on a medium speed until it's smooth, fluffy and irresistible. You can absolutely taste it and tweak it. You can add a little bit more sugar if you want it more sweet, or splash more cream if you want it to be lighter and glossier. Alright, my cinnamon rolls just came out of the oven. They baked for 30 minutes and look at them. Absolute perfection, but we're not diving in just yet. Give them a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes top, to cool down slightly. That way the frosting melts just enough to get into all those warm, fluffy layers without sliding right off. And now for the best part, grab that cream cheese frosting and just spread it generously while the rolls are still warm. It melts beautifully, it gets into every swirl, every crevice. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. And because we don't stop at good, we go for unforgettable. I've got that homemade caramel sauce in a piping bag and I'm just going to drizzle this all over the top. If you're feeling fancy, go ahead and garnish with chopped walnuts, almonds, or mix it up and do each row a little different. It is not just breakfast, you know, it's a work of art. These are divine. They are fluffy, sweet, buttery, rich, and everything a cinnamon roll should taste like. And that roux method we made, it gives them that softest, billowy texture, almost like if milk bread married bakery style cinnamon roll. You just can't beat that. If you love cinnamon rolls, please do yourself a favor and make these. Whether it's for like Christmas morning, a weekend brunch, or just a cozy treat, they are worth every single step. And if you've got leftovers, just put them in an airtight container that will stay good at room temperature for like 2 to 3 days, or in the fridge for up to a week. But listen, promise me one thing. When you take them out of the fridge, just microwave them for like 20 to 30 seconds. That's all it takes. And they'll be soft, fluffy, warm, like you just pulled them out of the oven. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please thumbs it up, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!